Hey everyone, Christine here from Portable Entrepreneur. Today we're going to be diving into one of my favorite tools, which is brightlocal. This is a local SEO and marketing tool to help you gain more leads, customers, and sales for a local business. And well, that's really what it's all about. So in this tool, you have access to actually several different tools that are going to help you increase rankings, increase traffic, and gain visibility where it matters most. So what we're going to be doing today is taking a behind the scenes look into the brightlocal dashboard, so you not only know what to expect inside, but what tools you'll have access to, how to set them up, and actually how to use the data that brightlocal is giving you in order to increase rankings, increase traffic, and get that visibility so the business is able to get a bigger customer base and more revenue. Now, in the description below, I am going to be including timestamps to the different tools and sections and features that we're going to be discussing. So anytime in the future, when you need to come back, just get a quick refresher, you'll be able to just jump to that part of the video so you can find out what it is that we were talking about and what you need to do. Now, I'm also going to include a link below to a free 14-day trial to brightlocal. I highly recommend that you set up a free trial so that you can go along and set up your website at the same time that I'm going through this, because really that hands-on approach is how you're going to get the hang of this and learn it the most. Don't worry, you don't have to enter any payment information at all. So if you decide not to use the account, well, there's nothing you need to do. So with that being said, go ahead and set up your free trial, and then let's go ahead and just jump right in. So back over here on the dashboard, we're going to be able to see a quick glimpse of everything that we need to know about this particular location. So we can see the domain authority score, we can see links, Google rankings. As we scroll down, we can see reviews from the different review platforms, citations, Google My Business data, and then of course, as you connect it, your Google Analytics and social media data that will be imported here as well. Now notice that I said for this particular location. If we come up here to clients and locations, this is going to be a list of all of the locations that you have. So especially if you have a business that has multiple locations, well, they're all going to be listed here. Now, going back to the different accounts that you can set up with brightlocal, if you choose the second or third option that we looked at that is more geared towards SEO agencies or professionals, you will have another tab here that's called clients. So this is going to be a way for you to see all of your clients listed there and simply be able to click into the dashboard to see the data for that particular client's location, which is really helpful. So what I want to do is I want to look more in depth in each of these here so you can have a better idea of what to expect here, see how to set this up so you can start benefiting from this. So the first one that we want to look at is the rank checker. So this is going to give us some really nice visuals to see how we are performing. So if you need to share this data, let's say with a client, this can be a really helpful way to do this because, well, most people are visual. So it helps to have graphs and showing increases and decreases. So we're going to get a summary here of ranking. So just going off of what brightlocal has set up for us. Just to get us started here, it is saying that we have 27% of our rankings, or 4 rankings, in positions 11 through 20, and we have 11 rankings in positions 51 to 100. So that gives us an idea of where we're at. So when I'm looking for quick wins, being how can we start to gain more traffic as quickly as possible, what we want to do is we want to take any of these lower rankings. So if we have any rankings in positions 6 to 10 or 11 to 20, a little boost can definitely result in more traffic for the right keywords. So we want to take a look at what pages are actually ranking here. So that way we can see, is there anything that we can do to, let's say, improve the on-page optimization? We'll look at that when we get over here to the audit. And that way we can increase the ranking there, get onto the first page and start benefiting from more traffic that way. Otherwise, maybe we just need a link or two, but that will allow us to get in and see what we can do just to get that little bit of a boost, which can make a big difference. Then we can say, okay, what else can we do to start working on some of these pages that will take a little bit longer to get the boost and start working there. So as we scroll down here, we're going to see a rankings table here. So this is just going to give us a list of all the different keywords that we are working on ranking for, and we'll start to get some data here. So notice that we are looking at rankings for Google, Google mobile rankings, Google Maps, Bing local. This is one of the really big benefits of using brightlocal because, well, they're geared towards local SEO. So they're tracking all the different places that local businesses can appear. I'll show you more about that in just a moment. But here we can click on the Add Keywords tab, and this is where we can start listing any of the keywords that we want to rank for. And then we can rerun the report to see how our actual keywords are showing up. Because again, remember, this data is simply being pulled in from brightlocal based on the information that we put in. So we got to take a moment to add in the keywords there. Now, I do want to show you this here, and this is different icons that you may see on the rank tracking report. And these here, you can see LOC. This is for Google My Business or Bing local listings that are appearing in those results. If you are ranking in the local pack, it will give you the position, either A, B, or C, 1, 2, or 3. Which position of the local pack are you ranking in there? Any organic rankings or third-party websites, but also other rankings like carousel rankings, knowledge panel, Google Ads, video. These are different ways that local businesses can rank. And so that's one of the reasons I want to show you this, not only so you recognize that brightlocal is going to help track that for you and you'll start seeing that appear here, but also if you aren't thinking about some of these other ways here that you can rank a local business website, then this can be really helpful so that you have an opportunity to rank multiple times for a keyword. So let's scroll back up here to the top for a moment. We're going to click on keyword groups. We have a handful of tabs up here, and keyword groups, this is if you have keywords that are similar, you can group them together so you can track the positions, the rankings of that group of keywords. This can be helpful if, let's say, as a local business, you offer different services, or let's say you have different products, then you are able to group keywords by those separate services or separate products and see how those rankings appear over time. And all of that data will appear here. So again, this is a really good way to visually see everything. Now we have the tracker chart. Now, if you want to track a particular keyword and just see how that individual keyword is performing, that's where the tracker chart is helpful. So we can select Bakery Mesa, and we can see, okay, now according to this legend here in Google Maps, we are in position 17. Over here, this is Bing local, we are in position 20, and in Bing we have another ranking that is 51 to 100. So that gives us an idea of where we are ranking and can increase the ranking for this particular keyword. So again, we can also see just this visual and the different places that we can rank where we are currently located here. Now we can also look at the aggregate ranking chart. This is really just an overall view of all of the different places that we can rank. It's not broken down by the individual source. If we want to break it down by the individual source, well, then we can just uncheck the ones that we don't want to see, and we can start to see how that changes the rankings. We can see our numbers here have changed. So this is really helpful. We always have the option here to edit the report if we want to, let's say, add more keywords. If we want to take keywords off that we're not working towards, we can always add that in here, and we can also just rerun the report. So anytime you make a change, you can either wait and see the data the next time you have the report scheduled to run, or simply just rerun it at that time so you can see what happened. So that is the rank tracker. Great visual here to be able to see and track your different rankings over time and how they're ranking in the different positions for local businesses. Next up, we have the Citation Tracker, and this is where you're going to be able to see all of your active citations and all of the top directories that the website is in. So not only do you see the number of citations that you have, but you're also going to see the accuracy of those citations because that's been known to help with local SEO. So let's take a look at this. First up, we have a key citation score. This is really just giving you a score to let you know how well you are performing when it comes to citations. And this score is based off not only the quantity of citations you have, but also the quality of those citations as well. And it's breaking it down here for you. So what we can do is we can look at where there are any errors. So you can see this says there is Key Citations NAP breakdown. When it says NAP, that means name, address, phone number, all the business information. What's the business name, the business address, and the business phone number. So they're saying 14 of the citations that they're seeing have a correct business name, but it looks like 7 of those have an error. So this just means that they're not all matching. They're not all listed the same. We'll take a look at that. Same with the address, zip code, phone number. Now, usually when it comes to this, we're like 7 errors with the business name, it just means that there's probably a slight difference in how the name is being written out. So we just want to make sure that we are listing those consistently in the same way. And so as we scroll down here, we'll be able to see what these major citation sources are. We have Google, Facebook, Bing, Yelp, Foursquare, MapQuest, City Search, White Pages, all of these. Now, as you can see, we have some highlighted in red, and those are being flagged for us to take a look at. So as you can see, there's different ways that the business is being listed on these different websites. So we have Whole Grain Natural Bread Co., Whole Grain Natural Bread Co. period, Whole Grain Natural Bread Company, Whole Grain Bread Company. So they're all slightly different. Same business, but we probably should just pick between listing it with company or without. And if we are listing with company, are we spelling it out or just going with co? That way it's just consistent across the board. So here we're going to be able to see, if there's an issue, and we have a different actions column. This is going to allow us to click and see the citation information and even go ahead and visit that particular source to see what's going on there. If you are the one who is going to be coming back and doing this, or you would rather have a team member come in and do this for you, you can also leave a note here and then go ahead and update that. So when you or the other person comes back in, they'll be able to see the notes that you left there. So you'll also be able to refresh the NAP, which means if you've gone out and you've made the change, you can come back here and refresh it. So it will update the report here. Doesn't always happen immediately, so you may have to come back. And this will allow you to see the citation in a new tab. So let's take a look at some of these other tabs that we have up here. So this is the live citation tab. This is going to show us all of the mentions and all of the citations for this particular website, not just on the top directories there. So as you can see, each of these has a citation authority. The higher the authority score, the better. So something that is in the 90s, for instance, is a very high authoritative citation, but those are the big sites, Google and Facebook and Bing, those all get the 90s. And so we want to have a variety of these definitely, but this is going to let us know if there's something going on. Here they think that there could be duplicate citations, so it could be there's 2 different Facebook pages, or there's something going on there for us to look at and resolve, just to make sure it is clear. So as we go down, you can see that this is really ordered by the citation authority. And so the less authoritative citations are going to be listed at the bottom. Doesn't mean that they're necessarily not helpful, because sometimes we can have an industry specific citation that's really good for your particular industry, but it's not going to have the same citation authority score as a Facebook or a Google that's good, across the board there. So what we also want to look at is pending citations, and then this competitor citations, which is really helpful here. So if you have worked on any citations, or you're working to keep track of the ones that you're working on, you can add citations to this particular list just as a way to keep organized and help you be able to keep track of what you're doing there. So you can see that you can add multiple or single citations to this list and just keep you organized as you're working. So last up in the citation tracker, we want to look at the competitor citations. This is really helpful because when it comes to sitting down with a massive list, because there is a lot of different citations out there you can go for, they're not all equal. And you want to make sure where you're spending your time is going to help you get the best results. So what we have here is a way to take the top performing competitors and compare how many citations do they have and which citations do they have compared to what we have. And then we can make sure we can start getting some of those same citations. If they're ranking highly, then of course we want to go after what they have. So we can see here, if we hover over the numbers here, we can see what the business is that is considered a competitor, and we can see how many citations they have. So we have 25. The next competitor is 15, 22, 6, and 64. So we have 23. We can clean up the NAP errors that it was showing us, but this gives us an idea of that we have a couple competitors that have about the same as us. So we could look to this last list here and see if there's any that will help us really gain some more momentum than some of those other businesses. But going for a GoFundMe page may not make the most sense. So we have to think about, when it comes to citations, which ones are just the top directories, which we saw over here in key citations. We definitely want to make sure that we have the major ones that are on this list for the most part. And then we also want to look for the ones that are industry specific. So for a bakery, we're not necessarily wanting to get listed on a garage repair company directory. That's not going to make sense, and it's not really going to be helpful when we're looking at quality. So what we can do is we can look at these here. A couple of the competitors have a YouTube citation. So this could be that just in the description of a YouTube video, they have their business name, address, phone number that has been listed there. It could be their YouTube video, or it could be somebody else's altogether. So that's something we can go out and look at. If you hover over these check marks and you click on it, it's actually going to take you to that actual page so you can see what the listing actually looks like here. So if I actually click on this, for instance, it's going to pop me out to YouTube, and we'll be able to come in here and see. Now, as we can see here, there it is. There's NAP information. We have the name, we have an address here, and we just don't have the phone number. So this shows you that they have created a video, and if we go in, they only have 5 subscribers, only have 1 video. So they're not really trying to grow out a YouTube channel, but they did get that citation because of it. So that gives us an idea of what's going on. So I'm scrolling down just to see if there's any rows here that have more than 1 check mark. We have us.com. We have 3 that are on Nextdoor. So if we're not on Nextdoor, that could be a really good one to get on. And some of these are going to show us the citation value. So we can see which ones, again, we want to prioritize, which ones are going to be the best for us to go with. But definitely if we see the competitors have citations that are on the same row here, then that's something we should at least look at and then make the decision if that makes the most sense for us. DNB, Yelp.ca, well, .ca may not make sense there. So again, we're not just going for quantity here. Quality is definitely going to be very important. So this is exactly how you can see your top directories, all of your citations, any errors that have been identified, and see what your competitors are up to so that you can better see how to prioritize the next citations you should be going after. Now, as you go to build those citations, let me tell you, if you haven't built any citations, they are a bit tedious to do. So if you don't want to build those citations yourself, you'd rather get someone else to do that for you, they have a Citation Builder service. And this actually means you're going to submit the citations that you want them to go out and correct, or that you want them to create for you, and then they'll just get the job done for you and let you know when it's done. So they have a database that has over 1,600 sites, and it covers 40 different industries. And so you're able to actually pick the specific citation sources that you want them to build. You don't have to just leave it up to them to guess and then hope that works out for you. You can actually tell them which ones you specifically want to do. And of course, you can have them update any of the existing citations. So as you scroll through here, you're going to be able to select from different options. Some of the data aggregators. If you want your listings to be pushed out to some of these different websites that are out there, you can do that. And we can look at any of the existing citations. And if you want them to correct it, well, then you can simply select which of these that you want added, and they will give you a list of the new citations that they're recommending. Again, you can look at the citation value, you can look at the authority score, but you also want to consider the relevancy and make sure that they're picking not only the top citation sources, but they're also picking the ones that are relevant to your particular industry. I'll leave a link in the description below that will go to a list of industry-specific citations from brightlocal, so that way you can also use that just to sort through which ones will be best for your industry. But this is a way for you to go ahead and just pay to get it done, so you don't have to, but this is completely optional. Now, next up, we have the Reputation Manager. Reviews. This is all about reviews. They are incredibly important for local businesses, especially. The more positive reviews a local business has, the better off they're going to be. So the Reputation Manager does a few things that are really important, and not only in managing reviews, but helping to grow them. First, we're going to be able to monitor reviews. We're going to be able to increase reviews, and then we're going to be able to display those reviews. So let's run through this here real quick. In the first section here, under Monitor Reviews, this is going to give us another great visual of what we're working with. We can see how many reviews. It looks like there's been some pushes here in these few locations to get more reviews for the particular business. We can just see that growth over time. We can see they have a total of 303 reviews with an average star rating of almost 4.5, which is great. And scrolling down, this is going to give us a summary of our star ratings. So this business has 70% of their reviews being 5-star, 12% being 4-star, and so on. So for the most part, it looks like they do a really good job here with reviews, since they primarily have 4- and 5-star ratings. Now we can also see the reviews by source. So 64% of the reviews are left on Google, followed up by 19% on Yelp. So one thing that's good to do is hop over to Google Analytics and see, where's our traffic coming from? Are we getting a lot of traffic coming in from Facebook? Are we getting a lot of traffic coming in from TripAdvisor, but we don't have many reviews there? That's going to help us convert more of our customers when we can work to increase the reviews on these sites, especially if we know people are coming from there. But ideally, we do want to see a variety of sites having positive reviews, but it never hurts to keep increasing that number. There's all kinds of studies that show how helpful more positive reviews are. Now, we can also break this down by actual reviews, so we can get a quick scan here of what reviews are saying. So looking really quick, we have all 5-star, except for a few 1-star. This will help identify, are there patterns of an issue going on in a business? So when we look at this, these 1-stars are about no mask wearing. And then we have some here, same thing. This is, looks like the same person actually just went out on 2 different platforms on the same day and left the same review about them not wearing a mask. So that's something that could be addressed there. But what we'll also look at here are the sources. Now we looked at this on the overview tab. But what is helpful about this visual is being able to see where people leave their reviews in terms of positive or negative. So we can see that if people have a negative experience, they tend to turn to Google or Yelp. That's where the bulk of the reviews are going. But we can see they have 137 specifically on Google. 7 of those are 1-star. And we can see what the breakdown is between the star ratings and the platform, which can be helpful. So that's how we're going to monitor the reviews and see what is going on. Now, next up, we are going to work on getting more reviews. This is a really powerful system that they've built in here. This is something that they have been developing, and it's really great here. What you can do is you can set this up to automate the process of review generation. It is going to help you send out emails, send out SMS messages, get set up at a kiosk at the store, get printed material, everything that you could possibly need to generate more reviews for the business, depending on how they're set up, of course. So what we're going to do here is the first thing, we can go in here to the general settings. We're going to set up a template name. Doesn't matter what that particular name is there, something that just makes sense to us. Now, next up, what we can do is we can add in a logo. This is going to be the business's logo. And that way, as these feedback requests go out, it is going to be white labeled to this particular business. And then we're going to set up a feedback score. Now, here's where this is important. We have a direct to review setting, meaning if somebody leaves positive review, we're going to direct them to go and leave a review on one of these third-party review sites. So we were just looking at the Google, the Yelp, the TripAdvisor, Facebook, any of those. So what we need to do is set up a threshold here for what do we consider a positive experience. If someone has a 6 or higher, do you want them to leave a review? 7, 8? What is the number that if they score their experience at that you want to direct them to leave a review on a third-party site? So let's say we're going to say 7 and up, okay? 7 to 10 is a positive score. And let's go on from here. Now we can set up a couple of things. One, we can set up an email, and we can also set up a follow-up email. So see, this is where we're going to have the business name and logo up here. And this shows you what the email is going to look like that is going to go out to your business. Okay, so we're going to be able to edit this. We can make the subject say anything we want. We can get creative in talking about our service or our product, what they just experienced, why you want their feedback, how you use it, how it's helpful. We don't want to create a book here or anything because we just want them to get in and give feedback, but we can customize this to really fit the particular business that's asking for it. Now, we can also choose to send a follow-up email. So if someone doesn't actually click to leave a review, we can send out a follow-up email to re-request again. And of course, we can edit this so that we're not sending the exact same email, but maybe we are rephrasing it a little bit differently to get them to do it. But this can really help get more reviews. A lot of people feel like I don't want to bug anybody, but people are really busy. It's not always that they don't want to, they just may not have had the time when they got the email. So this can help generate some more reviews. Now, next up, what we can do is we can customize an SMS message. So if you are getting customers' phone numbers, this is going to allow you to send another message. Same thing here. They don't click. You can choose to send them another message after 72 hours. That way they can click to leave a review. Now, what we can also do is customize landing pages. This means that once someone says, I've had a positive experience or I've had a negative experience, what we can do is customize the landing page that they go to based on how they've rated their experience. So if you want positive feedback to look different than negative feedback, you can set up that landing page here. This is where you're going to be able to edit the text that you see is appearing here. And this is going to help them leave you some better feedback there. You'll be able to even customize the color of the background page if you want to do that. And you can go on to these other pages here. Now you notice that there's a positive landing page 1 and a page 2. So after someone leaves feedback, let's say they score you a 9, they're very happy, they leave their feedback, click send, they're going to be taken to positive landing page 2. And this is going to say, thank you so much for your feedback. We really appreciate it. Would you mind taking a minute to leave us a review? And then you're going to select 3 review sites here of your choosing. So this is really great because you can swap out any of the ones that you don't want. So let's say I have 90% Google reviews or 95% Google reviews. I really need more on Facebook. I really need more on Yelp. You'll be able to select just the ones that you want, and then you can always adjust those over time as your reviews get balanced out there. So same thing with negative landing pages 1 and 2 there. But of course, we don't necessarily want to send them to the review sites, but you can, choose to do that. Now, next up, we have a kiosk and link mode. So this is if you have a kiosk at the actual physical location that you want to set up so that people can leave feedback on site. This is going to allow you to set it up right there, and you can customize the text because they're in person. Now, you're also going to be able to create a specific link here coming up, and that way you can use that link anywhere you want. If you want to send that out to someone, you want to text that direct link, you're having conversations with customers, they ask you for a link, that is something that you can use. But this is gonna, again, you have the ability to edit the rating page, the feedback page, and then customize it based on positive or negative when they are there in person. So as you can see, this is letting you set up everything, and you're gonna be able to automate this, which is really neat to do here. Now you can create different templates, so you don't have to just use the one if it would make sense for different services or different products. Now, the second step is going to be able to select the review sites here. So you're going to be able to select from all of these different review sites in alphabetical order, so you can find it really easy, or just start typing it in and it'll pop up for you. Then you want to pop in your business URL there, and you can go to the next one. You want to do Google. Again, it's popping the URLs in there for you that it knows of. So there we have it. We're going to select those few, but as you can see, you can come back and change that anytime. So now what you can do is you can either select send campaigns, and this is going to allow you to import your contacts. So your customers, you can import their information, whether that's the emails, the phone numbers, and then you can send out a campaign to request for feedback. Now you can also request URLs. So if you want the kiosk mode URL, you can copy that here. If you just want the URL itself, so you can send it out wherever you want. Or let's say you want to give people a piece of paper that has the review link on it and hand it out in store as customers are coming in. However that it works for you based on that particular business, you can set all of that up there. So once you have that set up, this is going to show you then a funnel. How many people have you actually requested leave you feedback? How many of those were delivered? How many were actually open? How many people actually clicked to leave the review? So this is going to start to give you an idea of how many people need to go through this funnel of requesting feedback in order for you to generate a certain number of reviews. So the last part of the Reputation Manager is to showcase reviews. So this is going to allow you to do exactly what it sounds like and display the reviews that you've received. Because this is a very powerful selling point, this is a great way to be able to embed reviews on your website, or if you have an application that you use and want to add your reviews in there, you can do that using this feed over here. But these are great ways for you to be able to do this. So you're going to be able to create a widget. Now you can customize your widget by going to filter, and you can select, do you only want 5-star and 4-star ones to appear? What feedback score, what period of time should the reviews be from? Obviously, if we have more reviews from the past 30 days or the past 6 months, that's going to be more powerful than reviews left 2 years ago. Are we looking at particular websites that you want? And you can apply those filters, and then they are automatically going to list just those reviews there. If you would prefer, you can select the particular reviews, and you can go ahead and say, okay, I want this in position 1 or position 5. And that way you can sort from the ones that really go into the most detail or that you think are the most powerful by putting those at the top, other ones at the bottom. And that way you can customize it the way you want. When you're done, simply click next, and this is going to take you to the widget design. Now this is going to allow you to customize the widget to look just the way you want. We have a couple of design options here, and it will give you a preview of how it looks. And then we can even update the layout. So the idea here is for this to really match the way your website looks. So if you want them in columns, for instance, so you can show more at a time. If you want to customize the background color or how rounded the corners are. If you want to make sure that the font matches the font and colors on your website, you can do all of that here. If you want to edit how the reviews actually display, does it show the icon for the name? Does it show the person's name? All of that you can customize here. And when you're done, click finish. And then as you can see here, it is going to give you the code to embed the widget on your website. You simply copy that code in, and then you'll be able to paste that on your website where you need it. If you don't know how to get into the code, giving that to a developer will literally take them a matter of a minute or two to add that in. So it'll be super easy. So that wraps up Reputation Manager. You're gonna be able to monitor those reviews, use the tool to get more reviews, and showcase reviews to help pull in more customers. Moving right along here, we're going to take a look at the Google My Business section. This is going to have all of your Google My Business data in this one location. So this is going to help you see things like how many images do you have in the profile? What do they look like? Do they match the actual business and give potential customers the right representation of what to expect at the business? Is all the NAP information correct? All of the hours, everything like that here. So as we go down, we're going to be able to, again, see the reviews. And looking at this is going to help us see what a potential customer is going to see when this pulls up in Google. Now, as we can see, the last couple of reviews that were left on Google were negative ones. They're doing really well. It seems that getting a review a day or so. So we need to make sure that if something like that is happening, we want to push those reviews down by using the reputation manager to generate more positive reviews. So it pushes those down, and that's not the first thing that people see when they actually look at the listing. Otherwise, they're going to see an average rating of 4.7 here of 162 reviews. So that's what we would rather them notice there. So we can go to the duplicate section, see if there's any errors here. If it's showing us any duplicate listings, we want to take care of that. All of this here, this whole Google My Business dashboard is designed to help you make sure that you've optimized this the best you can to make this work better for you and to get more local listings here. It's also going to look at NAP comparison, see if there's any issues here. It's going to show you other ranking factors. So this is really helpful. You definitely want to check out what else is being recommended to you. So they're saying, are you using a local phone number versus someone else going in and using an 800 number? Local businesses should be using local numbers. Is the city name being used in the landing page? So when you look at the landing page that people are being sent to from the listing, does that include the city of Mesa where they're located there? And if it's not, that's something that you can go and add in. So again, that's going to help you get listed higher in results there. And is the state code used in the landing page title? So no. So can we use Mesa, Arizona in that section there? Now, what we can also do is look at this by keywords. So you'll notice when we are looking at keywords in the rank checker, brightlocal automatically created these keywords for us. As you create your own keywords, they're going to appear across the top here. What this does is it allows us to go in. So let's say Bakery Mesa, if people are searching for that. If you see a check mark here where it says local pack, that means that when someone types in the keyword Bakery Mesa, it is going to pull up a local pack. So we want to be in that. And this will show us here as we scroll down a little bit that we are ranking in position number 17. And then it shows us the data in all of these different categories. We have a verified listing, the number of citations, number of those key citations, the top ones that we looked over at here in the Citation Tracker, the number of links, linking domains, the authority of the website, which we looked at over on our dashboard. Remember, it showed us that when we first logged into the account. And all of this information here, the review count, the number of photos, all of that. So what we can do here now is compare all of the ones who are ranking in the local pack. So we especially want to look at the top 3. And if they're ranking in the top 3, well, what are they doing in comparison to us? So you can see these have a lot more citations. This one has 40, a little bit less. This one has more than us. So we might be able to increase the number of quality and relevant citations that we have. And for key citations, this one definitely has more, but we're doing pretty good compared to these. The number of links, we have a lot more links. Only this one has more. So this is where we can also do a link comparison to see what links do they actually have. If they have much higher quality links, but less links, that's something to look at. Because again, it's not always about quantity, it's about quality. So we can see here that we have 43 linking domains. They have 10 and 30, 60. And we can see that their domain authority is higher than ours. The first one's only 6, which really isn't that great. And when it comes to reviews, we're actually doing really well. So we're doing much better. So we have to get all the way down here to number 6 and 7, even 8 here for others to be outbeating us. And we really have a high score, especially compared to the other bakeries. So we're doing pretty good. So we want to look over here in the sections where we could do a little bit better with our citations, making sure we got all of that straight. We want to look at our backlink profile and make sure that we have the quality links that we're going to need. And we'll take care of the couple of recommendations that we looked at over here on this summary page as well. So this is literally what we'll do is we'll go through and we can say, okay, for this keyword, we're ranking at number 15. And again, let's compare that to number 1, 2, and 3. And how are we doing better than them? Okay, well, these have a lot more citations and we don't. So again, looking like citations is something we may need to work on. Bakery is very general, so that may not be a keyword that we're sticking with, but we're less than 20. So we're not doing good for that keyword, but that's also not very specific. So as we have our keywords added in here, this is a really good way to say, how can we better optimize our Google My Business profile? Is there anything that we can do looking at the summary page to improve it? Taking the other ranking factors that are being recommended to us. And also, as you connect your Google My Business account, which you could do by clicking on Add Insights, well, it's going to pull the insights from your Google My Business account in, so you can start looking at that data right here too, and it can give you recommendations on what to do. Okay, let's take a look at the local search audit, which I've mentioned here. This is an automated audit that runs and looks at key factors for helping you rank locally. And so what this is going to do is give you insight into what your website is doing well and really what it's not doing so well with, so that you can prioritize your efforts and see where really, if you're trying to figure out where do I start, well, this is going to give you that insight. If you were doing this for clients or even potential clients, you're also able to go in here, throw in a website, it'll automatically audit it, and you can give off a white label audit to your potential client so you can show them that there's some issues going on with their website as well. That can help you land new business. So let's take a look at this. All of this is here on one page. If you do want to get a PDF of this, all you do is go over here to Actions and you can download the PDF. Just like with other sections, if you update anything, you want to recheck it, you can select to rerun the report at any time. So we will start out with the links section, and this is going to tell us how we're doing. As you can see, it says we are doing good here. It tells us how many links that we have, how many domains that's coming from, and what our domain authority is. So our domain authority is out of a score of 100. So the higher the number, the better off we are. This is a 14, so it's on the lower side, but we can continue to increase that, especially as we build up new high quality links that can help increase the score as well. So since that's doing good, let's go down to the rank checker. Now, it tells us we're doing poor because, well, we're not really doing good with our rankings just yet, but at the same time, need to add in those additional keywords that we actually want to rank for to see if we do have any better rankings. But this is letting us know, well, hey, we could be doing a lot better, especially when it comes to some of these main keywords, what our competitors are ranking for, so we can figure out which ones that we really want to start with here. Now we can take a look at Google My Business. It says that we're doing good, but obviously we're able to use some of the other tools like the Google My Business section that we went into to identify, well, how are we ranking for the different keywords and how does that look compared to the competitors. So here, again, this is going off the keyword bakery and it's showing us where we're at compared to the competition. Now in each section, you're also going to notice that there is this piece up here. And this is really just to give you insight, if you're not familiar with these different sections, why each of these is important and what this is going to do to help you increase your views, your customers that are coming in. Now on on-site SEO, for our on-page optimization, we have a score of, well, we're just doing okay. So we need to definitely fix that. And so when we looked at the very beginning, up here at the rank checker, and we had 4 rankings in positions 11 to 20, this is where if we start fixing some of these issues here and optimizing key pages for specific keywords, that could help get us that boost that we need to get us onto the first page from the second page. So these are very important here. So we look at some of the technical issues. So for instance, load speed. These are all looking at small factors that really impact how you're ranking. And when you work on several of these different issues, they're really overall going to come together and help boost your site here. So Page load speed is a huge one. We know that Google really likes fast loading sites. It's not giving us a score at the moment, but we're able to link here and pull up the Google page speed insights. We're able to pop in the URL, and as you can see, it's just doing it for us. We didn't have to find the page and put in the URL, start analyzing it. It just starts the analysis for us so we can see how well our site is ranking. So we're getting a score of 79 out of 100, which isn't too bad, but we would love to be in the green if possible, at least high oranges here. And over here on mobile, we are doing 28. That's horrible. So we need to look at the mobile version of this site and see how we can definitely boost that up. Very possible the website doesn't even have a mobile version if that's all the score that we're getting. So we need to figure out what is going on there, and that will definitely help. That will make an impact there. We can look at what errors we have. It looks like we have a 404 error, which is a page not found error. So we can click through to get more information. And we can look at internal links. These are the links on our website that are pointing to other pages on our website. We have a lot of those, but it looks like we have a broken link here. So overall, not doing bad there, but we can certainly look at that and see how we can go about fixing that. So this is going to give us some insight. And again, if you are not familiar with any of this, you're like, I don't know SEO. When you talk about internal links, you talk about SSL or these errors, I don't know what this is all about. Make sure to click over on the question mark here. So at least this can tell you what this means, and then you can look into more details. So if you want to look for the broken link, click through, and then it's going to actually give you here in the appendix the specific page and show you what is going on here with this. So that's just going to help point you to those specific pages. So going back up here, now we're looking at some SEO specific issues for optimizing the particular pages. So we want to look at how our page titles are doing. Do we have good page descriptions? Image alt tags, are we using them? H tags. Now, it's good on the pages that we're working to optimize that we have one H1 header tag that includes our keyword. So if we have all of these H2 tags, we have over 1,000 and over 1,600 H4 tags, but only 3 H1 tags, well, that's not quite right. So we definitely need to look at the number of H1 tags that we're using, make sure each page has one. It includes the keyword in there in the title, and that can help make a difference. We need to go through and rework this. There should definitely not be this many more H4s than H3. So that could have been them doing that because of a design issue, and we can quickly solve that. Also, we have here the word count. We only have 350 words on a page, which just isn't that much. And telling us we have 143 pages with sparse content, which means less than 500 words. That's not good. We should at least beef up those pages so they have 500 words. But a good way to do this, to figure out, well, how many words do I actually need to include on the page? Pop into Google the keyword that you want that page to rank for. Look at the top 3 pages that are ranked and see how many words do they have on those pages. So if you have 350 and those 3 top ranked pages have between 700 and 800 or 900 and 1,000 or whatever it is, you need to at least beef up your page to that amount, maybe even a little more. So it does say that the site is mobile friendly, but we don't have the score, but we went out and did the score, and we know that it's just not that good. So this is going to show us what it actually looks like here, but looks like it could use some work. So again, the content now, we have the physical address. Is the address on all pages? No. Well, we know the address is important. Remember NAP, name, address, phone number. So are we including that on all pages, even if we put that in the footer? So we have most pages on the site without that. They also don't have the phone number. There isn't schema markup for the city and phone number, but there is for the business and address. So again, these are all little things that could really start to make a difference. And going back to those pages that are ranked on the second page of Google, we want to give those a boost, and things like this can certainly help do that. Now this is saying there's no analytics tag found. Definitely want to do something like that. But now in the appendix here, This is where it's going to break down the details. So above, that's just giving us the summary of those sections. Which of these sections do we most need to pay attention to? And then down here in the appendix, we can get into the details. So which of these pages have link errors? Which of them are just creating error pages? This one, that one's not coming up. So we can click through, see what's going on with that. Here we can see in this page where they have one H1 tag. That's great. But is it for the keyword that we want? Why are there more H3 tags than H2? Something to look at. There's schema, there's no address, there's no duplicate title. So this is going to list out the very specific pages that you're trying to rank and show you why it could potentially not be ranking, or at least what you need to be doing on site to get that fixed. Look at any duplicate titles or descriptions. If there's any alt tag errors. The pages that are slowing down the site. Ooh, this is going up a lot. So this is saying most pages are really slowing down the site. But as we can see here, not only is this slow and we got to figure out how to fix that, we can see other issues here. You know, there's no H1 tag on it. There's 8 missing alt tags, no schema, no address. There's only 111 words. That's barely anything. So that's not good. So we really need to take a look at these specific pages. You know, do some of these need to be indexed here? But because these are all slow loading sites, this is where we can come over to Page Speed Insights and we can look at mobile, and then we're going to receive more information as to why. But we can come over here to Page Speed Insights, and this is going to tell us why we're getting such a low score. It's going to tell us how long it took to download certain elements of the website. It's going to tell us specific things that are really slowing down the site so we can get into those. And a good thing about this is it's going to allow us to drop down and give us more detailed information so we can start to figure out how to actually go about fixing this. But back over here to brightlocal. We'll come back up here to the index. And then we can also look at the sparse content pages, which we started to look at here. Again, a lot of these with 111 words, 382. Next one has 113. But again, that is the account and login page. So that's something where we don't really need to beef up the content, but we're also not working to rank those pages. So obviously this is something where we'll need to prioritize this based on what are we attempting to rank for? Are we attempting to rank this because it's a product page? And we can look at which of these do we want Google to index. So I have a tutorial on Google Search Console. It is a free tool from Google. And in that, you're going to be able to tell Google which pages you want them to index, which ones you don't want them to index, and monitor that progress. So even if you're using an SEO tool like brightlocal, you should always still set up a Google Search Console account and make sure you're checking your information because it's coming directly from Google there. So this is what the audit looks like, and this is really going to help give you some good information. So when you're saying, where should I start? This right here is going to tell you what you need to start with to increase your rankings. Now next you'll find the integrations, and this is going to be with Google Analytics and your social profiles like Facebook and Twitter, for instance. So with Google Analytics, when you go there and you connect your Google Analytics account, this is going to show you all the important metrics that you would see if you go to Google Analytics. You'll be able to see where your traffic is coming from, how long people are spending on the site, and all of those important metrics. But instead of having to log into Google Analytics, well, you can see it right here. So that's really helpful. Same thing for social. You're going to be able to connect your Twitter and your Facebook accounts, and this is going to allow you to see all of your posts right here, along with the insights so you can see how each of your posts are performing on social. So again, these integrations are just helpful because this means you don't have to log in to brightlocal, Google Analytics, Twitter, and Facebook to get all the data. You can do it right here from one dashboard. So especially if you are doing this for clients, you don't have to log in to all of these separate accounts in all of these different places. You'll be able to do it all from this dashboard right here. In the last two tabs here, we have location details. This is really quick because this is just like it sounds, your location details. So you can select the particular client if you have multiple clients here, and then you can put in the business information. So this way it's going to already populate this information for you and just keep everything consistent here. If you want to add in more business categories, you can do that here. Make sure your opening hours are all good. the about section for your business description here. And if you're going to use the Citation Builder and actually get brightlocal to go out and build the citations for you or correct those, it's going to pull the information from here. So that makes this a good reason to go ahead and complete this. But otherwise, it doesn't hurt to have this set up. You can list out your services here. Make sure you have all of your profiles that are listed here as well. In the media section, you're going to be able to upload your logo and a few photos of the business. Lastly, in settings, this is really good if you want to white label any reports. And what you can also do, of course, you can go to the action menu in any of these tabs and export the report. But what you can also do is generate a URL. So if you want to share a white label URL, you can copy it here. And here is where you can also select how you want this to appear. Do you want to have information from these different places? Do you want to have it from social when you have that set up? And do you want to enable access for Reputation Manager? That won't appear directly on a report, but what you can do is give them access where they can log in using a password that you give them. And this shows you that when you give them access, what you're going to allow them to do with that particular access. So you can only give them access to do what it is you want them to do. So again, all of this here is allowing you to customize how that report looks, and you can change all of those settings here. Now, lastly, here we have an agency lead generation tool. You'll find that up here under agency leads. So what this essentially is a widget that you can put on your agency website to help you generate more leads for local SEO. So this is really presented as a free local marketing audit, but it's going to show them really what it showed you in the audit that we looked at a minute ago. So what you're going to be able to do is create a lead gen widget. And then as you see here, this is going to show you what the widget could look like. So you can either make this full width on your website, or you can display a smaller one in the sidebar of your website. Either way, you're going to be able to customize this completely so it blends in with your website. So here you can select between the two types and see how they look. But then as you go below, you'll be able to change all of the text, everything that you see up here. You can select the different contact information. So if you only want them to put in their name and email, or if you want them to put their name, email, phone number, and business type, you can choose from those settings there and what you want to have included on the report. So of course the appendix gets really detailed and that makes the report really long. So you may not want to include that, but otherwise you can include these specific updates here. And how detailed you get is completely up to you. But if you don't want to go into the specific on-site issues or something that may make absolutely no sense to a potential client, you can choose to leave that off. So you can stay here more high level, focusing on the big things that need to be done. And as they hire you, you can get into some of these more detailed and tech issues here. This is also going to allow you to create a profile for white label. So as you go through and you create these different reports, you can select from a particular profile that you've set up that has your branding, your colors, your logo, all of that good stuff. Now, when someone actually goes to your website, they put in their name, their email, and any other information that you have requested. They will ask for the audit, and that will ask them to put in all the information about their business, and then they cannot actually see the audit until they fill out the form with the information that you've requested. So then they'll fill out the information and they will be emailed a copy of the audit, and you will also receive an email notification with the person's contact information and a copy of the audit so you can see it yourself and follow up with that client. Now you're going to be able to customize the emails that go out. So it's not going to look like this with the brightlocal. It's going to be customized because this is white label to your particular brand. Here you can edit the subject. You can edit the body here so you can let them know what to expect. You could let them know if you're going to be contacting them or give them a phone number so they can contact you and all of that here. So it's really amazing that you can customize the absolute entire piece. So of course here you also have the colors, you have the widget style, you have the widget code. So once this is actually done, you're happy with the way it looks, you'll be able to grab the code here. But you have to actually go through here and choose the styles that you actually like so you can see the changes here. and then you'll be able to save it and go back and get the widget code and embed it. So once you have this on your website and you want to start seeing the leads, you'll be able to come over here to the agency lead section. And this is going to display here a list of all of the leads that are coming in. And what's really great about the list of leads here is you're going to be able to mark them. So if you do have a high number of leads, you're going to see which leads you've contacted. You can mark a certain status for them. So that way they're really easy to sort through and manage the different leads so that you can turn them into paying clients. So at any time, you're going to be able to click up here and you're going to see what their pricing plans are. One of the reasons that I really like brightlocal is just because of how much data you're able to receive. That's going to impact your SEO efforts. And at the same time, their prices are really low. So that makes it really, really easy. So if you are just a local business, you're only worried about your one business, then the single business plan is going to be the best one for you. Or even if you're just trying this out for one client, this can work. But typically, if you are going to be using this for clients, then the multi-business or the SEO Pro plan is going to make the most sense for you, partly because this is going to allow you to white label the reports and the emails that are sent out, which doesn't come with the first plan here. You also have the agency lead generator. Other than that, the difference between these two plans is going to be how many reports that you get and how many of these reports you're able to run. So you can see the differences in the numbers between the two. So obviously you're going to get the most out of the SEO Pro plan, but really it just depends on the number of clients that you're serving, and you can always grow into a bigger plan as your business and your client list starts to grow. And if you want to pay annually, then of course the price drops even more. So that's really helpful. So there you have it. You are now a brightlocal pro. So if you are using brightlocal for an agency or to work with local SEO clients, I highly recommend that you sign up for a discovery call with brightlocal. This is absolutely free. They're fabulous over there and very supportive and can help you learn even more about using brightlocal to get more results for your clients and grow your business that way. Now, don't forget, down in the description below, I have left links to all of the resources that we have been talking about throughout this tutorial, as well as the link to that 14-day free trial so you can test drive brightlocal. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Do make sure to subscribe if you are interested in more tutorials just like this, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Take care.